Daniel, still family ties. No, it wasn't. You were scared shitless you were doing it wrong with someone else's kids. You have just forgotten. Maybe I have, Annie said sadly. He is a nice boy. She said about Paul, I like him. I just don't want her to wind up halfway around the world, living in Tehran. I don't want to lose her. Have a little faith in Katie. She is not going to want that either. She is very close to all of you, and she will probably wind up living in New York. Besides, Paul lives in New York, and so do his parents. Stop imagining that she is marrying him and moving around the world. You are driving yourself crazy for nothing. Whitney tried to calm her down, and Annie knew that what she had said was true. As agonizing as it was, she was going to have to learn to let go one of these days, and maybe that time had come, whether she liked it or not. She was sitting on her bed thinking about it when Katie walked into the room. Paul had left. She had a dreamy look on her face and smiled shyly at her aunt. Annie's heart sank when she saw her. She had never seen anyone so in love, and being that much in love put her at serious risk for a broken heart if things didn't work out as she hoped. And at 21, no romance was likely to be forever. The last thing Annie wanted for her was to see her get hurt or even disappointed. She would have liked to keep her in a cocoon and protect her for the rest of her life. He's a nice boy, Annie said cautiously, not sure what else to say to someone who looked like she was floating on a cloud. He has beautiful manners, he is intelligent, and he is very good looking, and he seems like a nice person. He is a wonderful person, Katie said, instantly defending him, as though she thought she had to. I am sure he is, Annie said quietly, venturing into dangerous waters, but he comes from a very different colors. It's something for you to consider. Katie glared at her with instant hostility in answer, ready to go to war, which was what Annie was afraid of. She didn't want to lose her egg too, or over this boy or any other. Nothing was worth that. What difference does it make? He is American. He lives in New York, and he is not going back to Iran, except to visit. His life is here, just like mine. That's good. But he may have different ideas than you do. His family isn't American or his relatives in Iran. I know you don't think so, but that makes a difference. If you married him, how would you raise your children? What would he or his family expect of you? You would always feel like an outer or a foreigner. Katie, if you are serious about him, you have to think about that. You come from different backgrounds. It worries me for you. Annie was as honest with her as she could be in voicing her concerns. I can't believe how bigoted you are. What bothers you? That his skin is darker than mine. Who fucking cares? Of course not. But I am concerned that his ideas are different from ours, maybe too different. His parents may think so too about you. You are ridiculous, Katie said with a look of youthful contempt. You don't even have a man in your life. You never have. You live like some kind of nun. For Christ's sake. What do you know about loving someone and building a life with them? Not much, Annie admitted with tears in her eyes. Katie had hit hard and low. I just want you to understand what you might be headed for. It's true for any relationship. Backgrounds, family, customs, and traditions do matter between two people, even if they love each other. I just want what's best for you. She didn't respond to the rest of what Katie had said. She didn't say that she had lived like a nun because she raised three kids at 26 and the man she had been in love with at the time had dumped her because she had taken on three children who weren't her own, or that she hadn't had time to take anyone seriously since because she was too busy driving carpool and going to the orthodontists and saucer games. She said none of that and focused the conversation on Katie and Paul, where it belonged.